States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You gentlemen had a chance to read over the minutes?
Yes, I make the motion to approve the minutes.
Second that motion.
All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Commissioner Brown, I was wondering if there's any chance I had invited the prosecutor to the meeting, and he just has a real quick document review and signing. Will we be able to work him in first?
I think we can, so we can get back to work. Okay, Dustin?
Thank you. What I have is an equitable sharing agreement and certification, and it is an agreement between my office and the federal government, federal drug enforcement agencies, that outlining how we will share in forfeiture revenue that's seized from drug proceeds in our county. So what happens is if there's a drug arrest and there's cash or assets or land associated with that, the federal government seizes that, and then once the case is processed, we get a percentage of that back. And it goes into an account that's been set up for many, many years now. And I use that to defray costs of the office. So it's a very good setup for us. And all of the forfeiture proceeds now only happen with the federal government. We don't do any on the state level for various reasons. And I won't get into that, but this is our only access to those funds. So I think it's something we should do. It's something we've done every year since I've been in office. What the first few pages here show is how much money we currently have in the account, what we brought in here this past year, which was actually nothing. 2011, we had some events that will give us sharing for 2012. It happened in 2011, but it just so happened that no extra funds came in last year. And then the back is the agreement about how the sharing takes place. So I have a document that's going to be signed by me and the president of the commissioners.
Anybody have a question or motion?
Was there a law, something about probationary fees could be used for salaries? Was there a bill?
There's currently a bill in the legislature. I think Senator Smith, who is south of us, has introduced a bill to allow probation user fees to be used more freely, or more options, which would include salary.
I was thinking I read it in the paper.
But I don't know how much action that's going to get. Right now, the legislature's jammed up with other issues.
I guess right to work will probably take most of the time this year.
You mentioned, whenever you was describing this, Dustin, on land that you accumulate because of the different things. How's the federal government handle that?
They seize the land and auction it off, and then we would
Then you get the percentage, but the government does that.
Yes.
The federal government.
Right, we don't do that.
The state government doesn't do that.
Well, that's not an easy question to answer.
Okay.
We used to
That's
be able
all right.
to.
I'm just curious how they did it.
What percent does the county prosecutor's office get?
It varies depending on how much involvement the office had. If we just had a small role,
So it's prorated in according to your
basically,
participation.
Okay. Tom, do we need a motion for this?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Sign that.
Okay, motion been made second that we go ahead and sign this equitable sharing agreement certification. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All the same sign, motion carried. Thanks, Dustin.
Thank you for putting me in. So
Can I have a copy?
first thing on the agenda at 9 o'clock was department heads from the courthouse.
Got one.
I see one here.
I wasn't even on it.
Well, you wanna just talk about the cleaning service? Well, I mean, I can. Let's just get that, start off with that.
Okay.
I would like to, we have an individual we've hired. There's a question on whether we need to pay her, her name's Elizabeth Lewis, whether we need to pay her a contract or hourly. I think what we can do is do a yearly contract with her. I'd like to pay her basically for 20 hours. She'll work evenings and then partially the offices that can't be open during the night for her to clean. She's going to come in about 2 o'clock and clean those. But the majority of the work will be done in the evening after they close. So
What's her name?
Elizabeth Lewis.
We'll need a motion.
I'd like to approve a contract to pay her $240 a week to work 20 hours, and until we get a full-time custodian to allow her to work. Well, either $12 an hour or $240 a week, it's the same.
Well, but if she goes over 20 hours,
What
if you're
happened?
gonna pay her by hour,
Oh, I see
you
what
need
you're
to
saying.
see, she may work over the 20 hours.
Okay.
You need to make that motion, John, at $12 an hour.
I don't know, Tom's
Well,
thinking.
I don't see anything wrong with a contract employee to give them a flat rate for the week. The number we arrived at can be based loosely on what we were paying the person who filled that position as an employee. But I see nothing wrong with saying, okay, we want to hire you to clean this at a rate of $240 a week. There's,
Okay.
because it's a contract, there's no, as an employee, we've got a greater degree of control over the hours they put in and stuff. I think with a contract, we want to say, we want to pay X amount to get this job done and present that and see if that's acceptable.
Okay, but what happened during the interim until we have a full-time, how will that, I mean,
Until we get a full-time
yeah,
custodian.
we'll have to pay her a little extra than that to work.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna have to put together a contract then that says, we need to talk with her and say, how long do you need to get things under control? How many hours do you estimate and arrive at it that way?
Okay.
Or we can pay hourly for the first month.
You have some contracts there.
I can
Put together.
put it together.
Sorry.
That's all right.
We'll do
I'm
less.
gonna need her contact information.
Okay.
I like that, hourly for the first month until we hire somebody, and then that time we'll have a maintenance person, courthouse, and then go back to $12 an hour contract.
Contract, right.
Okay.
Two.
Do we need to, Tom, let you go ahead and draw that up before we make it? Okay,
We need
we'll
to-
table that and let
Okay.
Tom go ahead and draw it up, and then next meeting we'll approve it.
But I think in the meantime, we need to have some kind of an understanding that she's
$12
gonna
an
be
hour.
paid $12 an hour
Yeah,
for work.
we
she
can
does.
take that
Or
on.
that.
We do have two department heads. that-
Yeah, I know, we're gonna let them speak as soon as you get done.
I'm done.
Okay, we did have two department heads show up, you're late, but come on up. Okay, which one wants to go first, Bob or Heather?
We had talked, several of the office holders, Shirley on them. The DD 214s by state cannot be anybody in them besides ourselves. That's the biggest thing. We do have mortgages back there, federal tax liens that do have social security numbers on them, so. You know,
That's why she'd be coming at 2 o'clock to clean your,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're really kind of gonna put this together with a full-time custodian that they may end up cleaning your office. The person that's there full-time during the day may end up, but the offices that the nighttime person can go into, you know, they'll be cleaning at night, the ones that don't have the personal information problems like the auditor. All your stuff locks up, doesn't it? Yeah.
But that's not our goal, though. Our goal is to have a night cleanup. Is there any way, let me ask you a question, Tara, is there any way those records can be isolated? Locked up, put up?
There'd have to be a new cabinet bought to put them in, and they're big books. There's probably at least 9
We talked about the veterans.
just the veterans discharges. So, and the federal tax liens are in a cabinet, but that drawer doesn't lock. The top 2 doors lock, but the drawers do not, so.
Well, what do you do, like the general public comes in, don't they research that? Or no, does the general public have access to that, to all the other things anyway?
They have access to the books in the back.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have access to the veterans discharges.
I mean,
Even the federal tax liens, those are imaged on the computer and redacted out so that whenever they pull those up on a public computer, they can't see the number.
the public computers, can they be shut off at night with reopen with passwords?
Yeah. But you can't see the social security number on anyway, it blacks
Okay,
that out,
okay.
so.
I mean, is
Yeah,
the
the
main issue,
computers aren't really
is,
an issue with it.
is the main issue the veterans
Yeah,
papers?
because by the state law, I can't have those out, where right now they're up high, and if anybody needs one, then we have to go back and climb up and dig them out.
I mean, if we bought a cabinet to just lock those in, would that, I mean,
Then
you think we could get someone in there to clean it? I mean,
yeah,
we
they
could just
have
get
to be locked up.
we could get it a lot cleaner
Yeah,
when you don't have people in there. I mean,
Right.
it's just, if we could do that, would that possibly work? Okay. For right now, until we do, we can, you know, have her, have
When I was
that.
in there
yeah.
a month or so ago, I was looking at your records, just checking on storage.
Mhm.
You have quite a bit that we could store or do away with, or store in another location. Of course,
Right
I
now-
realize the veterans books can't be.
No, none of that, really, none of that stuff back there. It needs to be stored somewhere where it's not gonna deteriorate, because they are old records. We are going back, with our computer company, they came in and we are back to 1980, I believe, doing back indexing. We've not got the images yet from it, but they've been there and imaged those documents where they will be on the computer. So that's, at some point, we can maybe eliminate a little bit, but they still have to be kept.
Well, there's another alternative, and that's to get a locksmith in there and get that old bolt for that, and just actually make that door functional again. I know I had a safe like that in my basement, and I mean, it's probably a couple $100
Yeah,
to do something like that, to make that work and lock. That's a thought too.
yeah.
Bob, what about you?
Man, here for moral support. I wanted to, now that I'm here, I wanted to address you all about trying to get a new ordinance. We had an incident that happened last week between a trustee and a member of his trustee board, advisory board, where one got physical with the other. And where a lot of the problem stems is, I'm sure it was an oversight, but the auditor's office messed, there was
something other counties are doing, do you know?
I don't know, I just know it's a thing that we've done in the past, but sometimes it's slipped through the cracks.
Something every county should have, really.
Yes, yes, it really is. That's another tool to collect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back on that courthouse cleanup, because that's a pretty important issue too. I mean, I understand, I've already talked to you about that yesterday, so we'll talk to our attorney and see if we can get something drew up on that.
As far as the cleanup, with the job that was done, the night before, last night, I don't have any complaints. She does a good job.
And I know the auditor's office, I was in there yesterday, and they really thought she done an excellent job.
Yes.
There was places cleaned in there that hadn't been
Right.
cleaned for quite a
Yeah, I
while.
noticed that too.
So apparently she does an excellent job. My big concern is, you know, and I guess we're operating under the law, you know, because of the certain records that you have exposed, you know, that's gonna be tough, but we can work out some deals to where maybe she can come in maybe 1 or 2 or 3 days a week at an earlier rate and leave earlier, and then maybe that's all you need cleaned,
Right.
okay?
Yeah. I'm not opposed to her coming in and cleaning, and I'm sure she does do a good job. I saw the
It was
auditors.
a very good job.
But I just, you know, I have to have somewhere to put, I have to keep those away from anybody. So,
One thing I do know though is that's an easy solution, so I think that's gonna be an easy fix. I don't think that's gonna be a problem, because apparently Libby can adjust her hours back and forth to what she needs to do to get the job done.
Right.
Apparently she's really good at what she does, so,
It almost seems though, in accordance with that state law, that the smart thing to do would be to go ahead and get something so that we can secure these things.
well,
If
we
you
can go ahead
guys-
and do that.
If you guys step out for some reason, you know,
yeah.
it seems like the obvious solution, I mean, we can adjust people's hours and stuff, but making sure those things are secured, it seems to me to be the right thing.
Now, what do you do when is there ever a time where all of you are out of the office at the same time?
Usually there's one of us in there.
It's that unusual thing that,
Right,
You know, you lock the door, don't you?
yeah. If I have, you know, if there's just one of us there, which does happen, then I just lock it as I go
but like
out.
John mentioned, you know, it don't look to me like it would be any great expense to go ahead and get a locksmith in,
Yeah, I think that.
fix the locks and fix the things where they can be. I don't think I would want any books left out, period, whether I was in there or not, because people can scan pretty good, you know, if you're sitting there even working, you
Well,
know.
we have people come in with cameras and want to take pictures of it
Yeah,
with the book wide open, so, you know, it's.
so it
that
sounds
it
to me
needs
like
be done.
the security needs to be set up anyway,
Yeah.
so we'll go ahead and take care of that part.
Okay.
That's, and it won't be that big of an expense, just go ahead and get a
Like
locksmith.
Alan Locksmith or somebody,
Okay.
have him come in and,
He knows his stuff.
yeah, have him look at that door.
And the cabinet that you're talking about needs to be locked.
Yeah, yeah, I'll have him look it over.
We have a pretty good vault, so we don't have any problem. We don't have any problem with it because we have it all.
Okay,
We lock it up.
okay, well, that's, yeah.
That's it.
I don't think Shirley at the clerk's office, there's just way too much in her office. I don't think she
Yeah,
can,
I'm sure.
I don't think there's anything she can really do, I know of, to secure. And they've got records everywhere.
Well, right now, it looks to me like you only got 2 offices that really, that she needs to be there cleaning while people are there, okay? So that brings her in maybe an hour or 2 early, for maybe 2 days a week. I wouldn't think you would need, you're not that dirty, are you, that you have to dirty the place up every day, so,
No.
you know, 2 or 3 days a week, she could come in, take care of those offices. One thing that really concerns me though that I haven't heard is from the judge's office.
Well,
Have you heard anything
yeah,
at
I
all?
mean, that's the other office that, she can clean everything up there except, I think the judge's office, she'll have to go in.
While they're there?
Yeah, unless he gets his,
Okay.
a locksmith up there, his desk has no locks on it.
John, you know her, could you talk to her and tell her there's 3 areas?
Yeah, well, actually,
We need to work on it, but it's not
We-
like an everyday thing.
we actually went through the courthouse and started talking to
Okay.
department heads and figure out which ones are, I think she
We'll
knows.
do that.
I'll get rid of columns and I come out and look at it.
Good. Okay. And the other issue that we talked about, Tom, would that be a problem, come up with some type of ordinance?
No, I
on
don't
that?
think so. What is is that governed by statute though? I mean, is there a requirement, Sarah? Or we
I've not been able to find it.
Okay.
It's just something our office started, and it's been going started several years ago. That, really it started with splits, when people would come in with splits, that if there was a split on the property, then we would make sure that the taxes were paid before we would, transfer the deed on a split. And then I think it got to where then we would, before anybody would transfer, that the taxes would be up to date.
Okay.
But no, there's no ordinance, or, I mean, there's no statute or anything that says, and there are other, I think there are other counties that are doing it also.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman. I move we have our attorney draft up an ordinance that stipulates what Mr. Woodward is saying, our county treasurer, that these taxes be paid before transfers are made to another entity or person, and I think that something should be done in the past, but it's never too late to start now.
Okay, motion been made, under second.
I'll second.
Let me look into that and make sure we don't run afoul of anything, and then
Should we wait then?
Well, you can go ahead and vote on that, but we'll have to, once the
Make sure
It's
ordinance is
investigation.
presented, we'll have to.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Now, there's with Tom's research, and then we'll find out, and we may have to amend it, but we can always come back to it. Okay, if you don't have anything else, thank you very much. Next on the agenda, Jim Holmes, SP Company, Telecommunications.
My name is Jim Holmes, I'm with S-Spy Services, we're in Bedford, Indiana. Basically what we do is we are a telecommunication auditing firm. What we do is we look at your local long-distance internet, any cellular phones that you have, and we audit those, we look for errors in your billings, we get those corrected, and we actually get money refunded back to the county. We kind of hang our hat on 3 main things. There's no risk. We work on contingency. We don't make any changes to what you currently have. And there's very little time and effort on your part. We do all the work at our facility, and then we report our findings back to you for final confirmation. The way it works is basically you would submit a cover page of one of your recent billings to us. And what we do is we order customer service records from your providers. And in the customer service records are something called the USOC code. It's something that Ma Bell developed many years ago, and all the providers still use it. And there's very few people who can actually read it. There's some people who are trained in it. There's some people in the military who know how to read it. And then we have auditors who know how to do that. They go through that line by line, and they find the errors in that, which are almost always overwhelmingly in favor of the provider. If there's an error that is taking money out of their pocket, they're gonna find it real quick and get it fixed for themselves. But if it's against you, I'm not saying that they're malicious about it, but they're not gonna ferret that out quite as quickly as what they would if it was in their favor. And we go through that line by line. We present that back to the provider and say, hey, you've been overcharging our client for 3, 4, 5 years, however long that may have been. We want this money refunded. So we get the money refunded back to you and get it or credited back to your account. And then at that point, that's when we bill you for, we ask you for 50%. If we were to go through it, do all the work and not find anything at all, it would be a free service. And you would know that your telecommunications are error-free. over 85% of businesses and governments have this problem. Sometimes it can be a lot of money, sometimes it may not be so much, but there is usually quite a bit of money to be found there. Like I said, we don't make any changes to who your providers are. We aren't asking you to buy any new equipment, we're not selling any new services. In fact, what we want to do is we want you to keep your current provider because you're probably happy with most of their services. We just want it to be for less money. And then the third thing, like I said, is we ask for very little work and time on your effort, or from your part. All we need are cover pages of recent bills. Then we order the customer service records, look through those. Once we have a finding, we write it out in plain English, try not to make it too difficult. We report it back to you for your final approval. And if you give us the go-ahead, we do the work for you. We get the error corrected and get it implemented. And if you say no, we won't do it. It's as simple as that. I gave our contract to your attorney here, Mr. Cyphers, and it's a pretty basic contract. We've tried to keep it as simple as possible, and that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions on that?
We've done this in the past. Which company have we used? I mean, it's worked, but they have saved money.
We used, we just called yesterday. What did I tell you?
You just told me.
I know, I just told you. They just called.
I think it was just in the last year and a half or so.
It's been about 3 years ago when they came.
3 years.
Fine for us. That's probably why they're calling back, because it has been 3 years.
Yeah.
We probably need to pull that contract and see if we're under contract.
Do you know if you're still?
No, we're not still contracted with them.
We're not.
No, once they did their job, that was it.
Most companies, and just from what we see from our competition is, most companies, we also have a future savings portion of our contract, which all companies have. Most of them go out 2 years. We only go 1 year on that. So
Spyglass? Spyglass.
Spyglass, yeah.
Whatever.
I knew it was something spy, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, they're out of somewhere like Cleveland, Ohio. We're just up the road here,
Where are you out of again?
Bedford.
Bedford, okay.
We've done an audit for the city of Bedford. We're actually spending quite a bit out into other states. Like I said, we've tried to make it as easy for you as possible. We don't want you to have to go out and copy a big box of records for us. And we just need those cover pages, and once we've got them, we do the work, and at the end of it, we report it back to you. And if you agree with what we've got, we'll get it fixed for you. If not, we'll let it be.
If it was done 3 years ago, are you still interested? Do you suspect there's any?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know when Cybertech came in, they went through all of our,
That
the
was
phone
less-
lines
that was less than 3
and
years.
everything too, and they did get rid of we did get rid of some stuff then.
Yeah, that was probably a different deal. That's where we've contracted with an IT company now, to handle our phones and data. And, what we discovered was there were a lot of phone lines we're paying for that terminated to there's no phone. We're paying, and that might be different than what you're talking about, or is that?
We do look at that.
Okay.
But most of what we do is, like I said, we're looking at those codes to see if there's errors on those codes, because, like I said, it's nothing that the phone company does maliciously, but, you sign a contract, just to throw out a big name, AT&T, and they farm a lot of that stuff overseas. It could be a missed keystroke somewhere that makes an error. It's just, there's various things that can happen. And like I said, if we look at it and there's nothing there, we've had a few instances where we've either found nothing or found little at all and said, just, we'll fix it for you without any charge. But, I would say if it's been 3 years, I would say it's definitely worth looking at. Do you know approximately how much you all pay in monthly billings or even annual billings on telecom? Just a ballpark figure?
probably yearly, our phone, for all the county, probably $40,000.
Does that include cells too? Do you guys issue cell phones? Because we look at cells also.
We've only got, that's a separate issue, we've only got about
Okay.
5 cell phones issued that are owned by, that are under contract with the county.
Okay.
Otherwise, we have a reimbursement policy for employees.
Now, when you said you went to an IT company, are you guys voice over internet? Or are you just regular landlines and?
No, we're not VoIP. We
Okay.
are, but our IT guy who was in-house had also installed, we just put in a new phone system about 5 years ago. And started 5, 6 years ago and ended 4 years ago. And then when we switched over to an outside contractor, our internal guy had kind of overseen that project, and so by default, our contractor
Yeah.
kind of dealt with some of the issues, but really that's not what they're contracted for.
Well, I will, maybe check back with you, when things over and see what you think and.
I'm okay with it. You all,
Well, it's the first of the year, and the thing of it is now, there's another company coming in to give us the same presentation probably that you're giving us.
Okay.
And so I think it might be wise for us to hear all the presentations and then make a decision.
Sure.
And then probably we'll get a hold of you,
Okay.
you know, if
Yeah.
you ever.
Let me go ahead and give you my business card here. If I don't hear from you, what, maybe in a couple of weeks, give you a.
Oh, it'd be longer than that.
We won't
It'll be a
meet
couple
again.
weeks before we meet again.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so maybe
about 30 days.
30 days.
Your first name should be Sherlock instead of Jim.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Next, do I have the most updated agenda? And we don't have anybody. Go to Attorney Cyphers.
I do want to announce that we, after some delay, we did get, Mid-Southern is going to be financing our new pickup truck. But that's kind of old news, but I just wanted, we checked around, got rates from everyone. Last meeting, you'll recall that Joe Stilger and, I can't think of the guy's name, but he's not with the town of Fredericksburg, but he was just helping, came in and they presented a petition. And it was, the subject was about the dissolution of the town of Fredericksburg as a separate entity. So I took the petition and had my trustee staff look into this, and we went over to the clerk's voter registration office. And the statute, the governing statute is found in Indiana Code 36-5-1.1-2. And it says, I'm gonna just, it's real short, and this is necessary so you understand what happened. It says proceedings to dissolve a town may be instituted under section 10.5 or 10.6 of this chapter, or by filing with the executive of the county containing more than 50% in assessed valuation of the land in the town. 1, a resolution adopted by the legislative body requesting dissolution, or 2, a petition signed by at least 25% of the town's voters registered at the last general election. Unfortunately, it says that as of the last general election, there were 48 registered voters in the town of Fredericksburg. And so we cross-referenced the list of the people who signed the petition with the list of registered voters, and there was not a whole lot of agreement. Only about 4.8% of the registered voters signed the petition. So what we probably need to do is get back in touch with Joe Stilger and advise him, and I just did a memo for you guys. And and let Joe Stilger know that that happened, okay? I think the way to do this would be by petition. The other option was a resolution adopted by the town legislative body. The problem that I see there is, I think, one other time, Mr. Stilger had come in, and there really hadn't been an election electing people to these offices. They were just people standing up and standing in and volunteering. And I think it would be debatable whether any resolution adopted was official.
I agree.
So, I'm gonna assume that there's not a great deal of precedent in Indiana when you actually have an incorporated town, and there's, for whatever reason, they don't do what they're supposed to do and communicate with the state. And so I think they've gone years without having taxes levied because they didn't submit a budget, and then apparently they've not even really had an election. So they're technically a town, I guess, but as far as these people that purport to hold office, and I don't mean that as bad, I give them credit for stepping up and trying to do things and clean things up, because I know that Mr. Stilger and there have been a lot of people who've tried to put in some time and try to get things organized and taken care of, so, and that's to their credit. But I am worried that if they try to do it by resolution adopted by the town legislative body, that's gonna be challengeable when, who says?
When they're not elected
Who
anyway.
says who's the elected legislative body,
okay.
so you want me to just get in touch with Mr. Stilger?
Using the phone book.
I'm not so sure how they're even gonna handle that. Will there be a public hearing? Are they gonna call for a public hearing?
There will be, I didn't go beyond in the statute, I wanted to, before I went any further, I wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
these signatures were accurate, and as soon as they weren't, we stopped and
Just
said,
not
this is
far
the
enough
fault,
that
yeah.
you would call for that. Okay. If he does, when you get a hold of him, Tom, if he does mention a public hearing, when you get a hold of me, let me know the date they set for that.
Okay, well, they'll have to get this done first,
Yeah,
and he'll have to present it to us, and,
okay.
okay.
Okay, so what was the petition, or what did he present at last meeting that was signed?
Well, it was a petition in compliance with the statute,
Okay,
and it just says a petition to dissolve the town.
Yeah, and then town manager, wasn't it? I think that's what his title was.
but you said it's not enough,
There has to be 25%
And how
of the
much?
registered
it was only
voters. 4.8% of the registered voters. The problem is the signatures he had weren't people who were registered to vote.
Oh,
So he needs to start with a list of who the
Yeah.
actual voters are, not just people who live in the area, and get them to sign the
Like you
petition.
said, he lived in Harrison County.
Hmm?
Like you said, he lived in Harrison County.
Oh, that,
That-
right,
that-
yeah,
He was
yeah,
a town manager down there.
right.
yeah.
Okay. What else you got, Tom?
There is a statute that I got through the Association of Indiana Counties that takes effect July 1st of 2012 about hiring of relatives. It says, and this is not the statute, this is just a summary sent by a service that we subscribe to. Prohibits the employment for hires after July 1st, 2012 of relatives in direct line of supervision of a relative with certain exemption. Requires certification by the unit executive and the elected office holders of their compliance. Failure to certify will result in budget approval being withheld by DLGF. So we're gonna have to look into what kind of certification do we need to do about new hires to verify that they're not in violation of this new law after July 1st. Requires disclosure of family relationships between a vendor and the elected officials and any contracts with the union. something's gonna get passed because both houses have put forth similar bills, so my understanding is this is probably gonna pass. And I just wanted to alert everyone to it because it's something to help keep in mind down the road. And that's all I have.
Commissioner?
Basically, I already went over the information on the cleaning. Do we want to bring up the meeting we had yesterday? We probably should, about the Board of Finance. I mean, I can, just to tell the general public, we had a Board of Finance meeting yesterday, and we went with First Harrison Bank for our, why don't you just give us a summary here on there's two different accounts.
There's actually 3 different accounts,
Okay.
but they were all lumped in. They were going for all the business. First Harrison had the best bid of all the financial institutions that submitted a bid. We had bids from all financial institutions, except Regions. They were competitive, but they didn't really come that close to First Harrison. They've been very good to work with, and we've made really, really good money through them.
Saved.
Pardon?
Saved.
Saved.
Yes. Yes. Yes, we saved really. Other than that, we did make some pretty good interest too.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we made that.
So, and we're gonna do this every 3 years probably?
Every 2 years.
2 years.
Okay.
By the way, Tom, you got kicked out of being secretary.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll dry my tears later.
Yeah.
We tried to think of something else to make you, but we couldn't announce that.
And basically, the bottom line is, you know, as commissioners, we're gonna look for the best bang for the buck.
Right.
You know, and First Harrison had the best package, there's no question about it. Plus, on top of that, the expense of the auditor's office and the treasurer's office, so the paperwork nightmare, and anytime you switch banks to, you know, just to set everything up, that would have been a very costly
Right.
operation too for the next month or two, so everything worked out real well.
Yes.
First Harrison came in with the best package, and meeting really didn't last too long.
No, it didn't.
So
No, it didn't.
it worked out real well.
I did spend my day, the entire day, at Rose Holman Institute of Technology.
Oh, we know where you were.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Going back to school.
I'm still fighting for the county engineer position.
Actually, to switch bank, it's about a 2-year process
Yeah.
too, because.
It
Right, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I was told to.
everything worked real well. What else you got?
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Angela Mead to the PETA Board.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
okay, motion been made and seconded that we appoint Angie Mead to the PETA Board. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now, does that fill all of our vacancies
No,
now? We still got more?
We still have Hoosier Hills Pact, which they're gonna bring us the list, right?
Well, they bring that,
Right.
I
But
did
everything
call
that-
John, I called John and told him about the one change, and he said that he would get his list, because he did have some changes on the board, advisory board also, and he would bring it over
What
to,
about the,
Can he bring that to you, Sarah?
Yeah, he
Just
did.
give us a new.
yeah, I will,
Okay,
and if there's any,
I just wanna make sure that we're okay and got everything.
I thought
Uh,
they replaced-
John, since you brought that up, I do have a question on it.
You did.
read about it.
Uh, a new board, which will oversee the county personnel policy from year to year to make sure that stays updated, because our past personnel policy, I don't know when the last time it ever got updated. But now we have a new one, we wanna stay on top of that, and we wanna keep it going, so we do have a board. John Mishler, Randall Beals, Dustin Houchins, Sarah Bachman, the county auditor. But one of the judges, and John, I don't know if you did this or somebody did anybody contact one of the judges?
I contacted both of them.
Okay, which one's on that board?
They're going to talk, and I suggested that they treat it kind of like a divorce with child support, where one of them does it in the even-numbered years and one of them does it in the odd-numbered years. And they thought that was a pretty good idea.
Okay.
So they're gonna talk to each other. I called them each separately and advised them. And I talked with Judge Newkirk Judge Newkirk was the first one I talked to. I talked to Judge Medlock just probably 4 or 5 days ago. And he agreed that they would get back together.
Okay, so they both know about it?
They do, and you know what, we could probably just pick, they were both agreeable to that, we could just pick one. And I think they're open to alternating,
So
so
just tell them that they're there.
either one of them seemed opposed to serving.
Okay. Yeah, I'm open to, if everyone wants to put one on there, I don't care.
I move we start with Judge Newkirk.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, now that takes care of the full board. I'll entertain a motion to adopt that, to pass that.
So moved.
Okay, motion been made, second that we go ahead and finish up this Washington County Personnel Advisory Committee, and it's all been down, all the names are there. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried. Now, is there any other?
I did call Dustin Houchin and let him know as well, and so I told him he'd be getting the phone call to have, I think everybody will probably need to have an initial meeting, so we can kind of review the policy and let everybody know why they're there and what they're gonna be doing.
Right.
So,
Right. Sarah, did you get that Washington County Building Commissioner and / Plan Director? Is that?
That's
Travis.
That's Travis.
That's Travis.
No, I've got it. I just wanna know where you got that in the title. Good job, boy, girl, you're right on the stick. You did. Just wanna make sure everything's here. Public Defender Board, turn to Public Defender
Judges
Board.
take care of that.
Judges take care of that.
Okay, you got that judges instead of council, right? Good girl. We put Angie Mead in there, and that takes care of that. Okay, good.
There were one or two, I think, came up later in the year, but take care of it.
Okay, where was I at, John?
Yeah, that's it, that's all.
That's it. Okay, Commissioner Falls?
I talked to Ben Bowen and having him write a letter for the county council, thanking them for the 2% from Harrison County, and I'll draft a letter up for the commissioners and have us to sign it. And I'm gonna do something for them sometime February or March, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do yet, but do something in addition to the thank you letters to give them.
I think my office has a draft letter put together, so I apologize for not bringing that up, but I forgot, you mentioned it to me last Wednesday, kind of we were out and about, and I didn't think of it until this morning, so I talked to, as I was coming here, Beth was just arriving at work, and I asked her if she would put together a draft, so you might just swing by my
probably do it in February or March.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
I got just a couple of things. One is a vacation day. I had a phone call from the judge, I think, we do have some concern on our vacation listing. Sarah presents us the pay,
Holiday.
or holiday pay, I'm sorry. Sarah presents us with our holiday pay, sheets on what we're gonna pay for holidays for the county employees. And she gives us, 3 options. And it's our job to pick one of those, and we issue that out to the county. We did get some calls of concern yesterday, being Martin Luther King Day, because that was not on the list of paid holidays that we give the county. I think each commissioner got a phone call. Is that
Yeah.
right? Okay. So, if you gentlemen wanna act on that now, wanna state what your,
Well, I think it's
Preferences
already
are-
set for 012, but we could think about 013.
I would like to see, I mean, that we're gonna have to either take away an election day or a birthday.
Well, I think we do
Yeah.
President's
They can
Day.
win election day.
We can't do it, yeah.
Can't do election, okay.
No.
President's Day, or we'll have to, we should probably replace President's Day or,
well, wait a minute.
Why should we
We
give
have
some?
a listing with Martin Luther King holiday on it.
okay.
It's already there, it's already in place. The only thing we gotta do, when she presents us those 3 option sheets, we just gotta approve
But
one.
it's gonna take away from one of the other days.
Well,
This
yeah, but
still
it's
saying
already
one day.
set.
Right.
Right, but when we do it.
When we do it,
When we do it,
it's not an extra holiday for the
no,
employees, it's just, we're
just one's taken out and one's put in.
putting it.
No. I think it's an extra day if you get them on open. I don't.
It'd be an extra
We
day
can do
because
it.
they're open now.
When do you bring that to us to
I bring it
approve?
to you in December.
December? So, in December, we'll take a look at it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up because that's something that, I think the reason
Well,
why, I think the only reason why we adopted the vacation or the holiday pay the way it was because of weather issues. It wasn't not many people want to take off, in January when there's a foot of snow on the ground. Of course, this year it wouldn't have been too bad, more like spring. But they looked at more of a warmer holiday, in days. I mean, that was the only issue. There's nothing else involved with it, but anyway, we did get some calls, so we can act on that in December when Sarah brings us the different options. We can pick one, okay? Also, Commissioner Falls had mentioned the vote, and I've been talking with Ben Bolin quite a bit this past week, and we've discussed and emailed, and vote money to me is going to get to the point where we're gonna consider vote money as just a bonus for the county, because it's going down. It's not something that we can really depend on year after year to be this huge amount of money that we're receiving. This year it dropped considerable simply because the bridge closed. And a lot of people coming out of Louisville, they didn't want to fight and get around and try to get there, so they didn't. Now, if the Kentucky governor gets his way, casinos will be sprouting up on the other side of the river. Well, when that happens, the boat money is gonna go, because our boat funding from the boat is 2%, okay? So 2% of $1,000 is a heck of a lot, less than 2% of whatever, okay? But 2% is what we get. So whatever volume is brought in, 2% of that will come to us. So the volume of funds coming into the boat are getting lower. So we've really gotta watch it. We gotta watch what we're doing. Ben gave me we discussed, you know, projections, of what we had and what's in place. I mean, we've accomplished a lot with boat money, okay? The 500,000, which was our share on the bypass, that came out of boat money. The roof for the courthouse, $180,000 of that came out of boat money. The park, you know, that went out there, the money goes out there, 55,000, that come from boat money. The council was really looking at the non-reverting fund, you know, that's been hanging, this black cloud hanging over our head from Delaney Park, which is quite a few $1,000s, okay? And we were talking, and Ben said, well, if we pull out, you know, it's like $141,000. Well, the boat money, all of a sudden, you start taking all that stuff out in 2011, we wind up with $48,000. Now, that sounds like a lot of money, because you got a balance there, you know. Folks, I won't even blacktop a mile of road. It takes $58,000 to get a mile of road blacktop, so it won't even do a mile. So, we've really got to start taking a look at the boat money as this is a bonus, okay? Let's concentrate on our budget being set on something coming in, but, I mean, you know, we can halfway see a little bit of the budget coming in the boat, but we don't want to put all of our eggs in that basket, because it'll bite us. So we really got to be cautious there. And I am really proud of this board of commissioners and the county council, because this is one thing that we have fought for the past 3 years, and we've been very successful at it, but we have remained in budget, you know, and we're very stickler on that. We don't want to take county taxpayer dollars and just throw it away. You know, I've been on that poor guy for 2 years solid, and my foreman out there at the county highway department, you know, they come, well, we need to do this. Well, my first thing is this every option? Did you check out everything? Can we do it cheaper? Is there a different way of doing it? You know, well, I don't know. Well, then find it. You know, let's get busy. Let's find good, you know, let's find ways to take care of our roads, but let's take care of them as economical as possible, okay? And I think that's something that we need to all look at. How can we do our job, but do it as economical as possible? These are tax dollars that's going out into the county. You know, these are tax dollars that's coming out of our pockets. You know, that's one way to look at it. It's my money, I want to spend right. So we got a big responsibility here that Ben kind of opened my eyes with county council. All this information he was had given me, you know, the edit dollars and how it's being spent, the cum cap, and it's just it's a bunch of information, financial information, but balance-wise, we didn't look too bad for 2011, except, boy, it's sure been nice to have seen a lot more in there, okay? If we spend as much in 2012 as we did in 2011, we're in the red, and we're out of budget, so that's not good. So that's something we really need to look at. I'm done preaching, I just want to make sure everybody understands. We need to really, really watch, and I know everybody understands that, but
Sarah, can't you find, like, the state of Indiana found $300 million?
I'll get right on that.
would you, we appreciate that. Then we'll be in business. That's all I have. Sarah, I'm gonna go around the room before County Highway Department, how we doing out there?
Feel pretty good. We dodged another bullet Thursday and Friday. Supposed to be some more snow flurries tonight, ending, when the rain ends. Warming back up, just like another good week. Are you guys any closer to Hardin full time at the courthouse?
Our ad comes out of the paper Thursday, okay? So Friday I'll get with Sarah. We'll take a look at all the applications, and
Do we need to schedule a special meeting on that
well, yeah,
to review
yes,
those?
we need to. much notice you need to post?
48 hours.
For what?
Have
For
a
a
special
special
meeting
meeting.
for the commissioners to review
Interview,
the maintenance person.
Just 48 hours. isn't it?
if it comes down Thursday, we post it for Tuesday, okay? Wednesday, okay?
Well, we could go ahead
Have
and
it on
post it
Monday.
now. If we post it now.
The Monday.
We can have it, we can even have Friday morning.
Well, you're giving till the 20th to turn in applications.
Oh, that's right.
So you have to wait till after
Thursday,
Friday.
Yeah, we'd have it
Yeah,
Monday,
right.
couldn't we? We'd have it Monday morning.
We'll do it then.
Monday?
What time?
Monday, Friday.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, yeah.
9 o'clock's fine with me.
9 o'clock Monday, Tom.
Where is the meeting going to be?
To Will Sullivan's office.
That's how it's.
And you're just going through the resumes?
Right.
Now, that's if Tom doesn't mind. I don't want to take his office.
o'clock?
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Can you,
I don't know if my, I don't know. I don't know if my, I think it's probably fine. I'll find a place.
do we have a,
I got 3 conference rooms, so.
can we scan those and get them emailed to the commissioners during the weekend, or we can? So maybe we can get things narrowed down.
I can't scan
That's a bunch of them.
How many have we?
I
done?
don't
About 100
know.
before.
No, we don't have nearly as what you had before, but I haven't looked, so I can't tell you how many's in there now. I'm gonna say probably between maybe 20, 25, and I don't know, maybe less than that, I don't know.
All right.
I haven't looked. They count, I don't know, we just got a place to put them in.
Tom's office at 9, by 10, we'll be done through all the applications. You called.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Let's meet at 9 o'clock.
Let's
I'll
change
pick
it
it
to
up.
8, then we can go in. After we go through, they'll give us a couple hours.
I don't
Make it
think
8
we'll make
o'clock,
it.
Tom.
I'm all right. Wait, did you say 8?
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Then I'll give us an hour and a half, 2 hours to go through.
All right.
We can review after that.
That's how close we are, Joe. Sorry.
We're getting there. Thanks for helping out the courthouse, you guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Something else, since we've done the phone changeover, our phones in the office have not worked since that,
I know.
and they're getting worse. I thought Bill was gonna be here today. He says he cannot do any more until he talks to you guys. We gotta go back to the regular landline.
It's gonna,
His computers or something that's messed our deal up terribly.
I called Pam the other day to find out I'm trying to get Rick's address. I'll tell you what, you talk about cutting out.
It's terrible.
I mean, you couldn't hardly, she had to repeat 50 times just to get the information all across because it's cutting out so bad. It is really bad out there now.
I'm surprised that the public hadn't put something in the paper about it. Because when they call in, it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like I said, I thought Bill was gonna be here today to bring it up before, he said he had to talk to you guys before he could do any more, as far as going back to the way it was. So, I don't know if he was, maybe he thought the meeting was still not, I don't know.
Well, should we send word to him to go ahead and put it back the way it was?
Yeah, which,
He's with that,
Brandon.
oh,
he's the guy who comes around and does all the maintenance,
He's assigned.
but he's done all he can do, if something is interfering with our deal over there.
I mean, if they can't get it to
We need to
work,
get it
let's
set
just-
back.
Let's just go back to the, how many lines do you have out there?
And ours, and Travis, and Desi, and back four, I guess,
So this is affecting the,
all, it's all of them.
Yeah.
that's
All
really
four.
bad.
So should we go ahead and just send word, we go ahead and authorize him to go ahead and take care of this?
Yeah.
Whenever you can call him, or
Is that all right?
whatever.
Needs to be
Everybody
done.
agree with that?
Mhm.
I said, I'm surprised the public didn't put something in the paper about it.
Take care of
That's
it.
how bad it is. One other thing, Rick, they took him out of the ICU sometime last weekend or whatever. He's in a private room,
Do you have an address for him?
it's over at the office.
I got it.
What is it?
Now, this goes to his room where he was staying, I don't know if it's where he's at now or not.
Video, go ahead and just, don't say it out loud if you could, please.
Do you need Bill's phone number? I've got it if you want. Bill with Cybertech.
Yeah, we need that.
I'll give it to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Well, he's off the ventilator, he's out of the ICU, he's in a private room. Kidneys are working a lot better. Infection is coming down. Seems to be doing a lot better since first of the week.
Good.
I guess that's all I have.
Thank you. Tara, Bob, okay. How about the chamber?
Got some updates for you.
Come on up.
I can help you, yes. Okay, these are just updates, so, going really quickly. Our annual dinner we had in November, biggest and best we ever had.
The what?
The annual dinner for the Chamber of Commerce. 3 years ago when I started, or the year before I started, they had 75 people attend. We had 166 this year. Looking to expand it even more for the following year. Christmas parade, couldn't have gone better. It went really, really well. The weather was great, everything just went perfect. We had such a huge turnout, so I was pretty pleased with that. Our Santa house this year, we just exploded with kids this year. 810 kids visited our Santa house this year, and 5 dogs. Frontier Communications sponsored Santa's visit to the house. True Value renovated the Christmas house, or Santa's house, at no charge. Potter's Carpet put in the floor in. St. Vincent helped provide goodies for the children visiting, as did the chamber. So everything went really well. We are currently working on our goals and setting up our calendar for 2012. We do have one date set, and that's the first Friday night on the square, and that'll be May 18th. I'm holding off on setting the date for September yet till I want to double check that Old Settlers isn't going to change their dates or anything like that. And they have a meeting coming up later this month, so I'm on those dates.
At that date, I brought up the Exchange Club to be in charge of an auction, that,
Yeah.
will we be the only auction during that
I
time?
don't know anybody else who's ever done one, so yeah, I think they're fine. Jim talked to me about that, wanted to make sure things, so I think that'll be a great addition to Friday Night on the Square. I always want it to change. If it's the same every year, then there's people coming. And we did do some changes last year, based on what our vendors wanted, and that was, they wanted more family events. So what we did was we did a switch up, and we moved some of our events earlier in the evening so that we had more people there, more families there during the earlier hours. And then as it dwindled off, we tended to get more just kind of hanging around. But it went really well. All of our vendors did really well. In fact, our one in September, we are looking at trying to upgrade the electricity, and we're happy to do, see if there's something we can do to help us out. Because we did have one place that just blew on the side of the square. And, luckily Anthony came in and fixed all that stuff for us, so it was good. But the lady who did this was really upset. She thought her booth wasn't gonna make any money, because they had no electricity and all this stuff. She ended up making $500 that night for her church. And so she was just extremely pleased in a 4-hour period, that kind of money selling food. We've had a couple of other businesses who have used Friday Night on the Square to kind of test the waters for them. And one's known the catering and all kinds of other stuff, and he said his business has really exploded based on starting at Friday Night on the Square. So we're seeing some good changes there. One thing, I did send a notice out to you guys regarding our chamber meetings and sponsoring them. I have a sponsor to provide food for every meeting. So that's not something you guys are going to worry about. If you guys want to be the speakers and bring your department heads for a meeting, we can do that, and of course they would get lunch provided and all this other stuff. If you're interested in doing that, we just need to set a date for that. And where this kind of came from, the mayor has traditionally done this for the last few years. He uses the January meeting for his state of the city address. And so he will come in to give us an update. And this year, instead of doing that, he's bringing in his department heads going, oh, what a great idea, you guys could do that too. And that way people can learn more about who the department heads are and what they do and things like that. But it's a very brief, like each person will only get to talk for 2 or 3 minutes. So if that's something you guys are interested in, just let me know what month and I'll get you scheduled in.
The committee to audio synchronize the courthouse now, where do they stand? When are they gonna start another thing to get?
Hank's got a meeting with some of the volunteers Friday, and then he'll set the date after that. We do have a little money left over, we've got about $5,000 in the account for that, and we'll start gathering some money, and, you know, we do have some of the controllers and stuff there, but we will have to buy some items and stuff like that. So he's ready to get started on that. Any questions?
I know a lot of complaints in the town crier, but also there were a lot of buses too.
Actually, those complaints benefited us, believe it or not. Every time there was something negative in the town crier, I would get somebody walk in and give me a check. It was amazing. I know one guy walked in and specifically said, he goes, I'm just tired of listening to it, y'all did a great job, here's $100. So it didn't hurt us any.
How much did you all end up spending then for what you have up?
We don't have that. It was about, I'm thinking 27,000, I don't have that dollars today. Seems around 27. And about 450 volunteer hours.
How much do you anticipate the next phase costing?
He's in the process of checking that right now, so I'm not sure. I'll report that out as soon as Bob gets back with me on what the rest of the cost is gonna be.
They're gonna do something like the porch areas, right?
Yeah,
For
I
next
believe
year.
so, and then looking up at the arches,
Yeah.
at the very top there, yeah.
What, the peaks, like along the roof line or something?
Yeah,
And you're not gonna go all the way down to the ground, to the,
yes, that's my understanding, they didn't want to with all that equipment up
Yeah.
there. this
cause
time.
cause you can really tell the difference when it doesn't go all the way down
Yeah.
also.
That's my understanding, that'll be part of the last phase, get that on there.
And let some of those that complain go up there in the sand and put the white lines up there with the white lines.
I tell you what, when Hank told me, he goes, you do the 3rd floor, I didn't know what he was meaning. I didn't realize there wasn't a floor. That those guys literally made a floor as they would work on it and then move the floor and work on it and move the floor. So I was, Bob Strange and his crew handled that, I was very impressed.
Actually, it's amazing what all got done.
Oh, I know.
In short,
If you really stop and take a look at it, you know, you had a construction company trying to put a roof on and all this equipment in your way and all this other stuff, so it's really, it's kind of an amazing thing, just what did get done for this year. Now, next year it'll be a lot better, but at least the courthouse got lit and got a lot of good compliments, so.
Yeah. Hank joked that we had a contest to see who could put the most lifts in that courtyard at one time. I think we had 3 or 4 at
A
the
lot
time.
of-
it's a good community effort, there are a lot of people involved.
It was.
And contrary to everybody, I mean, we see it in the town crier, the taxpayers did not pay for this.
No.
This is all volunteer money.
Donations and
This
volunteer
was
work.
donated money, so.
How much did the tourism board donate?
I think $2,000.
$2,000 is tax money. Mr. Brown, I'm sorry. $2,000.
That's not tax dollars.
Well,
Yeah.
it is a tax.
Well, it's
They
tax
generate
on, yeah.
money through the
In tax,
tax.
innkeeper's
Well,
tax.
innkeeper, yeah.
And donations
Sorry,
like that, I didn't
You're
see.
welcome.
Those went through the community foundation, so I don't have exact amounts.
But that can be justified because of the tourism and so forth that will bring in the future.
If it's done well, yeah.
I think it has so far, and I think it will in the future too. I'm proud of everything it's done so far.
Here's an example of even the Santa House bringing people into the community and the good feeling that we have. Our Santa was standing out waving and his car pulled up. And they weren't from here, they were going to Brownstown to visit people. And they had been down at Parksville, wanting to get their kids' pictures taken with Santa. The line was horribly long and they were charging. And our Santa goes, well, just come in here. And they said, well, how much do you charge? Well, not a dime. So they left and went and spread that word to other people because they were so impressed that we were offering things like that to the community and to anybody who drove through. So, you know, 800 kids, you think about that, plus all the parents and grandparents that came. Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops, all came up there in droves.
Wait a minute.
What?
If Santa was in Salem, how was he in Clarksville?
That was Santa's public, and we have the real one.
That was his life.
We didn't get great.
You can't get much past me.
This year. I had to do that with my son. My son went
That's
on
what
to
the real
the
Santa was.
He's a rose almond.
Any other questions?
Now, you blessed my bubble, because I thought the real Santa was in the North Park.
Yes, but he comes here and visits on weekends.
Okay, I was about to panic.
Salem's his summer home.
Just in,
Anything else? All right,
Thank
thanks.
Thanks.
When you meet again.
26th of this month, and it will be at the Awareness Building.
Mark,
I don't have anything
I
except.
know you got a meeting
The
scheduled.
meeting
and-
the 25th.
and we're gonna send John Fultz there.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
When is that meeting?
25th.
Have you set up a time? That's right.
Let's see. County is at 11, I believe. 10, 11, and then lunch. The city's at 10, the county's at 11, and then lunch. So,
There you go, one.
I have a question. Has our general liability policy changed? Has the carrier changed?
Yes.
Okay. And I apologize for catching you off guard on this. Suppose we have pending potential claims on the old carrier and something gets paid out on those. Will that affect our rates and premium? I mean, is that?
This year, it's already set in stone, it's already been paid.
But will they look to the previous carrier's loss history with us to adjust rates for next year? Or will they just look at their own experience with us?
They'll look at any claims that would have matured, yes.
Okay.
but so would the current carrier.
Yeah,
That's not
I mean,
any different.
That's what I
Everybody's
mean.
gonna
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
it.
I just, I
It's
didn't
for the
know.
account.
Everybody's gonna look back so many years.
Okay. That was just
At your office,
Yes, 11.
Rhonda,
I've got stuff in the works and it's not really, well, I gotta talk to people and actually ask if they want to participate. So, the only other thing is that, personally, my business going down to Harrison County, I was asked, along with, part of the management of, Green Tree Mall, to go down. They have a group that meets every other month where they, get together businesses that are interested in promoting the community in Harrison County. And that is what they, put the display up in Base Campbell at Green Tree Mall. And so, had dinner with them a few days ago, and with my friend at the Green Tree Mall, and said, "Hey, why don't you come on down? Why don't you sell Base Candle in Harrison County, baby?" So, for my business especially, I'm going to be down there. If you want me to donate Base Candle as a gift, John, I don't care. People usually go, "Oh, it's great," so maybe, something that is made here in Washington County might need to go down there. They will have heard of me by then. I think it's at the first of the month. But any information I get, I'll bring back if anyone wants to ask about how they do this, because their display was the most impressive. And ours was like nothing to sneeze at. They even stated the one that Washington County Tourism put up was extremely impressive. Okay? So, and I had Clark Floyd and City of Madison up there. So ours was like a close second. I mean, and, a lot of credit needs to go to Richard Dixon and Lori Carr. And extremely impressive. I even had businesses from Washington County come up and say, can I put my flyers here? And I said, boy, howdy do it. Put it right in. So it did make an impression on our community as well as Harrison County. So, but that's, I'm going down for my own stuff because I enjoy business. So if there's anything I can do as far as the county goes, that'd be fine too. But like I said, I'll go ahead and volunteer Base Candle. If you want to take that down as a gift, that's all right, unless you want to get an Afghan or something. But
I've already given them that. Somehow they got misplaced and they're moving to the old hospital renovation. I may have to give them another one, I don't know, whether they're found it or not.
That'd be all right. Anything you need to do. But I have other things that are in the works that I have to go and talk to the variety of boards at, and that's what I'll do.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Mm-hmm.
We have a young lady here that's gonna talk to us. Come on up. I seen her out in the hall. I thought, better come up here and find out what's going on. You're from
Hoosier Uplands.
Hoosier Uplands over here, and there's some annual papers that need signed by the president and who?
Auditor.
And the auditor. So if you wanna drop, boy, I got you right out in the rain, didn't I?
Yeah, that's all right. And I just took over the position in October, so I'm, still learning things. And it has to be notarized. This is a signature that we, basically, it's whoever can sign the claims and whatnot for to turn it to the state.
Okay, this is something that we sign every year. I take it, John, you've been signing?
No, John
John
Foltz had been
Fisher?
signing it. He had been signing it, because his name was the name on it, and I guess they.
John
didn't-
Foltz
Brett
signed
Lewis,
it,
president.
Fisher before you.
Yeah, before him,
Okay. Authorized signature form.
We have a meeting tonight at Mitchell.
For the,
Hoosier
Just-
Uplands.
Just for public record, what exactly, can you state what the paper is for?
it's a signatory paper to allow whoever's on it is the ones that have to sign
Okay.
in order for the state.
New signature card.
Yeah,
Signature
Yeah.
card.
And the auditor signs too. Sarah, is that the only one you had?
yeah,
You have to have a copy of that, Sarah?
That should be notarized.
yeah, it has to be notarized.
Sarah's probably, are you a notary, Sarah?
No, I am not. Can't be.
Are you kind of, Bob, are you a notary? You probably got somebody upstairs that is.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to our auditor. Sarah?
Speaking of signature cards, we need to sign for, River Hills. We need to sign for them. And I think, Tom, do you want to go ahead? If you sign it, then I think that will be the notice. I understood Cecilia's email when she gave it to me, that you can sign it and then it doesn't have to be notarized. 'Cause
As
she
a
does-
witness,
Yeah, as a witness,
Yeah.
it does have it down. It's just the claims and payroll.
Okay, you've had a chance to look through the claims and payroll was in your packet. Do I hear a motion to accept the claims?
I'll make a motion to accept the claims.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried. Anything else, Sarah?
No.
Do you have anything else to be brought before the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made to adjourn. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried. We're adjourned. Thank you, folks.